Tarek, hi. Great to see you again.
Same here, Mark. Delighted to be with you today.
So we spoke about a year ago, the same event, and a lot's happened in the last year. So when I look at the Rakuten business organization, the mobile business, 5G rollout, new pricing plan, RCP became Rakuten Symphony, a number of initiatives launched, the deal with 1&1 in Germany, and I guess in the group level, you're now looking at the CTO across Rakuten organization too. So the question I asked Tarek is, when you get up in the morning, you have a number of different hats that you can put on. How do you decide which hat you're wearing? How do you decide how to prioritize your time across those organizations?
Mark, since we talked last time, I think you and I had a conversation about the criticality and the importance of Rakuten Mobile. I mentioned to you that my number one objective and responsibility to Rakuten and our customer is to ensure that we have delivered and built a highly elastic, highly reliable, a cloud software architecture that delivers on all the agilities that we have promised to the industry as well as to our consumers. So that still remains my number one priority. And the reason I mention that, it is because Rakuten Mobile to me is always my living lab to go validate the new technologies and disruptions and the architectures that we want to push forward. We want to prove that if these technologies work in a quality obsessed society and a quality obsessed country as Japan, my validation is I think the rest of the world would accept that we have built a really highly reliable network that is not only about low cost, but it's really driven by significant automation, architecture, the embodiment of AI, machine learning into the DNA of how this network run and organize itself. Now, for me personally, you ask about when I wake up in the morning, and unfortunately, the reality is the last 3 years for me has been many sleepless nights, and not because just the work is hectic. It's sleepless from the excitement that myself and my team gets when we wake up or when we are working at night, irrespective of geographies that we're in. We're always thinking about what else can we do better than what we have done before. How can we advance our framework and platform and automation? How can we package this into an offering that the rest of the world would appreciate, and how we create a lasting partnership and be considered and looked at as not just necessarily another vendor. So indeed, I have a lot of things and a lot of responsibilities that I do, but they are so tightly coupled. The Rakuten Mobile and now Symphony both need each other in the sense that Symphony needs Rakuten Mobile to continue to utilize its products, its technology, to continue to provide a validation ground, and Symphony to take the experiences, the lessons learned from Japan, package it, and then go to the rest of the globe.
Interesting. And so if we think about the Symphony business, I'd love to understand what it looks like in terms of people, organization, location.
First of all, Mark, I think we've spoken about this as well. In the building of the foundation of Rakuten Mobile, I think I have mentioned this to you many times before. In my view, this journey was not about technology. This journey, if something to be studied, is about the construct of the organization. I had many conversations with reputable leaders that are specialized on human capital development to discuss the implications and impact of a highly diverse organization. It's never about the green field from an operator point of view. It's a green field about a mentality that is really living every day as an entrepreneurship, a mentality that is looking for disruption, a mentality that is not necessarily accepting that the old world needs to continue and exist, and we need to evolve. So, and we did this, I think, largely well in Symphony. Now, for Rakuten Mobile. Now, when Symphony construct came about, we knew that we needed a business entity to host our products and platforms, and we knew that this business entity also have to follow on the same principles of what we've done in Rakuten Mobile. Symphony today has been put together through internal and external acquisitions. Internal, by taking our RCP product organization that we have built in both in Singapore and Japan, consolidating that with an acquisition that we have done with Altiostar, an acquisition that we have done with NY, integrating all these organizations culturally and geographically to deliver on the same mission and objective, deliver on the same passion of disruption towards building a truly elastic software cloud architecture for mobile service providers as well as government and private enterprises that want to see the world from a different point of view, want to see the world in which the essence of what we do every day has to become about software, productivity, and intelligence into the fabric of the network. So today, Rakuten Symphony has many global offices from Boston in the United States, in India, and multiple geographies, in Europe, in Japan, in Singapore. And one thing I could tell you that I have never felt more connected with a larger entity as much as we do, just because of the way we work, the way we engage, the way we communicate. In fact, we live on real time communication. Mark, I'll take one more minute to tell you just about this communication factor, even within the Symphony organization. Frankly speaking, if you ask my employees and my colleagues and my team that work for me how we communicate and dialogue to drive faster decision making process, we use real-time communication. Rakuten owns Viber as a communication platform, as a communication tool. It enables all of us across the world to be connected together. And decision making to us is almost near real time. Ability to execute on approvals, ability to execute on major architectural requirement for our customers. We drive real-time decision making through the organization, the structure, and the communication and the tools that we have enabled into Symphony, thanks to the larger Rakuten Group platforms that now we brought into the organization.
So should I think of Symphony and Rakuten Mobile as being two separate organizations with separate P&Ls? Or do I look at them as a single entity?
No, separated, but keep in mind that maybe the best way I would give you this, Rakuten Mobile is now formally the customer of Rakuten Symphony. Rakuten Mobile continue to furnish substantial opportunity for disruption and innovation that Symphony is learning from, embedding and enhancing its platform, then going globally. Symphony itself, Mark, has 5 business units inside it. And these 5 business units revolve around foundation of unified cloud. Altiostar has become now the new business unit is called network functions, in which we will have both radio, core, and media platforms under Altiostar, intelligent operation, billing stack, internet and ecosystem services group, and each one of those business units has a separate P&L, completely separated from Rakuten Mobile. Indeed, we want Rakuten Mobile to be very successful as a standalone business, and Rakuten Symphony will be our platform cloud connectivity business that has a different business objective and different P&L from Rakuten Mobile.
So when we think about those 5 business units and we think about taking Rakuten Symphony to market, some customers might buy from 1 or 2 business units, some might buy from all 5. Is that the way you think about it, that you have basically 5 sets of products?
100% correct, Mark. First of all, the best way I would characterize this, think of an a la carte menu. Of course, in an ideal scenario, we want our customers to consume the entire stack, but we also know that there are pragmatic realities that we have to work with our partners and our customers on. So if someone decided that, I want to buy the orchestrator from Rakuten Symphony or the fault management tool as a starting point, we are more than happy to build, to deliver, to integrate such a platform. And if someone wants to buy the totality of the stack, that's also completely fine. But we have a quite a bit of product categories and product platforms available in the company today, and these products are consumed as an individual product offering, or they could be consumed as a total stack, an integrated stack, similar to what we have done with One and One in Germany.
And so is another way of thinking about it as being like simply being like a partner ecosystem that you're orchestrating, shall we say. So you're orchestrating, you monetize some of the parts such as Altio products, but you as Rakuten might not monetize other products because they're being delivered by other companies. Is that the way I should think about it?
Yeah, I mean, well, two things. I mean, when we talk about an ecosystem, in a new world, I mean, let's take the new world in which open networks, open RAN requires a very substantial, differentiated approach on how you go to market. For us to succeed, partnership and ecosystem and collaboration is absolutely vital. Let me give you a very specific example of this. Rakuten Symphony have no interest whatsoever to be a hardware company. That is far away from our dream and aspiration of the value add that we could provide. But we certainly have a lot of capabilities, Mark, when it comes to reference design building. We are really good at building a robust, scalable reference architecture for both core workloads as well as complex workloads as radio, more specifically the DU. This reference architecture, Rakuten Symphony, will fully open as an open source platform for the world to consume, because we want to create an ecosystem in which we see value in companies providing hardware, and whether this hardware is a traditional remote radio heads or hardware as in massive MIMO, but to create a diversity of trusted supply chain. We think that's really, really critical. We think we have the know how to enable the creation of this ecosystem. So, the way that you should consider Symphony is there are some unique intellectual properties and IPs that we come with and bring with, but the totality and the value of the offering of Symphony must revolve around not just only products that Symphony or Rakuten Inc. brings to to our future customers, but it also must include external partners. And specifically, for me personally, the creation of a diversified, trusted supply chain for hardware manufacturing is an absolutely critical mission for Symphony success.
Yeah, very interesting. And you've done the deal with One and One, which is terrific. And I read somewhere, I think you've spoken to 75 operators globally. Is that right, in terms of potential customers? I mean, that's a lot of traveling or a lot of Zoom calls.
I think there are some good positive side effects, obviously, that happen from COVID, though COVID itself, we're all suffering from its impact on us in general. But maybe if I look at, a little bit of the good things that happen, it have taught us how to get connected. It has taught us the criticality and the importance of the industry that we're in. It has taught us that the battles and the fights that mobile operators do every day to maintain their network and their uptime is beyond critical. These are mission critical platforms, and through these connectivity platforms, we've been very fortunate that many CEOs, CTOs, and board members of various companies had really expressed interest and intrigue to understand our journey. And the discussion, that I really enjoy talking to them was not about just the technology. It's always one part of our challenge to say, here is the benefits of Open RAN, here is why you need to do it. But we really spend amazing quality time talking about, the construct of not a blueprint of the foundation of the architecture of mobile network, but the blueprint and the foundation of the organization you need to have to manage and lead a world in which digital first, digital enablement, internet services is really in the forefront of everything in the CEO's mind. And to that extent, we've been really fortunate that I think it is much larger than 75 total companies now we have reached out to, and it's been mutual. And I'm not honestly trying to tell them or to sell them something other than to share an idea, to create an ecosystem, to create a partnership model to help me break through the barriers that exist today, because we know that we are alone cannot achieve this. What we need a credible coalition of partners and believers on the mission that we're on. And I feel extremely optimistic, Mark, of what is happening as of late. I think the industry as a whole is recognizing the criticality and the importance of moving workloads to cloud, but not just core workloads, looking at the radio as a disaggregated, virtualized, fully automated platform to also be part of this totality of the solution. So I think a lot has changed for me personally the last, I would say, 1 year, as we're making some amazing, credible progress, highlighting the benefits. And I think what you saw with one-on-one, my hope and optimism that this is just the beginning of many things to come from what Symphony will bring to the telecom industry.
Well, Tarek, thank you so much. I could speak to you for hours, but we are out of time, and look forward to hooking up with you in person sometime soon. But thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you very much. Take care.